Okay, welcome to the Encounter Diagnosis Sprint 6 demo. These are our almost like our last demo, which we have been on this task that we have been for the past 3 months. So today we'll be doing our final demo. Let me share my screen and show you guys what we have been working for the past 1 week. The sprint this time was short, it was just 8 days. So let me show you what we have been working on. So I think you all seeing my screen, right? Okay. So I'll start with this task. It's chunk 535H. This one was being worked on by Kelechi. It hasn't been merged yet, but what Kelechi did, he worked both on the core platform and the EMR API module. And on the core platform, he was able to remove the migration chain set that was already there. Then he loaded a new one that converted the old diagnosis table to the new one. He also loaded some chain set to create a new conditions table, checking if it doesn't exist, then it was being created only when it didn't exist. Then on the EMR API module, he loaded chain sets that was supposed to change the conditions table to the EMR API condition. So that's what Kelechi has been doing for the past 1 week. Yeah, and also helping other teammates with their tasks. So the next one is chunk 5340. This one was already merged. It's only here because it's waiting code review from the rest of the community before the ticket is closed. But this one was done and merged. So the other one is this one. This one was is chunk 5341 that's being worked on by Cecilia. So for this task, Cecilia, it was merged, but according to Cecilia, she don't think it's all that was needed to be done. But one of the main reasons that it was merged is because some of its modules, like the core apps, were required by other people for them to be able to continue with the tasks. So this one was merged. So Cecilia is not still showing all is done on it. So the other one is this one, the chunk 5342. This one is the one that I was currently working on. Still hasn't been merged and it's not yet complete, but some of the things that I managed to do was I was able to create a diagnosis dataset that was supposed to create an EMR API diagnosis, but that approach didn't work. And so we opted, I continued on and used created the diagnosis, EMR API diagnosis builder class instead. That I used to create an EMR API diagnosis. Then using that class, I was able to tell that the migrate functionality from my migrate diagnosis class was actually doing the migrations. But also I can say there are some stuff I'm still working on, so the task is not fully completed. So yeah, so the next one is chunk 5343. This one was being worked on by Patrick, but also Cecilia joined, and they were working on this one, both of them. So when they were working on this one, some bugs occurred, and these ones are the ones that they first had to fix. So one of the bugs was a failure to delete existing diagnosis. They were adding a new node, so they were able to fix this one. Then they were also able to fix an error that was occurring when they were saving a diagnosis. Like one diagnosis was being saved, and then the diagnosis was being replicated. So they were able to solve that one too. But the task itself is not yet completed. It's still being worked on. So the other one is trunk 5350. This one was being worked on by Kelechi, but this one was by Alda, but this one was already closed and finished. That is merged and finished, but it's still under the code review because it needs review from the rest of the community. So the same applies to this one that was being worked on Kelechi. It's finished, but still waiting for some reviews from the community. So coming on next is this one, the task that is still in progress. This one is being worked on by Ada. It's trunk 5373. So this one was supposed to update the UIs in the reference application in order to be able to use the new condition tables. So for this one, Ada was able to implement the functionality for deleting a condition. He was also able to move to implement moving a condition to history and making a condition inactive using the new condition controller class that's in the Web 2.2 module. He also replicated some functionalities from the EML API module to the core module. So during this time, he also created some converters that helped him accomplish all this. Some of the converters that he created, one of them is the convert status. This one was used to convert clinical status of condition objects into status of condition objects of the EMR API module, and he also created a convert history converter, which was supposed to which converts a list of core list conditions and into a list of condition history objects. So yeah, then we have this one more. This one is still under to do because nobody has yet picked it up. Because it's refactoring the core module, the EML API module condition service to use the new functionality. For this one, nobody has yet picked up that task. So that's currently what we have, and that's what has been worked on. So next, we would like to go on the next part where we're supposed to talk about what went well during the sprint. So for now, for me, I would say I'll start with myself. I think the rate of collaboration was still maintained its level at a high level. So that's what I think went well for me. I can open the floor to anybody who might contribute on what he or she thinks went well during the sprint. Anybody can go. Is there anybody who feels there's something that went well during the sprint? I'm sure at least there's something that went well for someone.
Isaiah?
Yeah, Patrick.
I have something I can give forward. I think, so apologies for joining in late.
Okay.
A bit, and I think from my own point of view, like I feel like the collaboration was like really good as well. I don't know if it was the motivation from Daniel to turn on the video or something, but I thought that was good.
Nice. Yeah, we still remember the promise for Daniel would turn on the camera. I'm not sure if that will happen today.
Yeah, unfortunately it didn't happen, but maybe if you still do that in your spare time, then we can arrange an more
you guys have heard what Daniel said. If we still manage to finish these maybe in our spare times, we can set up a call and tell you, Daniel, right? Is that what you mean? Or you mean
Yes.
like?
That's right.
Okay. So anybody else who has something to say about the streams? Cecilia, do you have anything to say? Okay.
Well, what I would want to say is not different from what Patrick has said, that the collaboration was good. I feel like we've done quite a bit. We've gotten quite a bit done in just, has it been a week? Like 7 or 8 days. And then I think we've done in the same period of time earlier. So yeah.
So you feel we have achieved more in less time compared to what we were achieving when the sprint was like 2 weeks long? Cecilia?
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. Nice. So if nobody else has something to say about what went well, I'll move on to the next one, which is what didn't go so well in that sprint. Anybody who has something to say about this, the floor is open and can contribute to it and say something. If he or she feels didn't go so well during that past sprint.
Mic check.
Mic check.
For me, what I can say what didn't go well was the fact that when we were starting on this sprint and on the previous sprint, we had set out some objectives of finishing the tasks that are currently on board. So the fact that we haven't been able to complete them yet, I'd say that hasn't gone well. Sorry.
Yeah, nice. So plus one on that, I also think the fact that we have not been able to clear the board still somehow feels like it's something that hasn't gone really well. Yeah, so plus one on what Ada has said. Anybody else who has something to say? Okay, so if nobody else has something to say, Daniel, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, what I would say is that I would like to thank you guys for the great work that you've been doing since the day you joined up to date. It's unfortunate that the task is not completely closed, but I should say that you have at least done your level best, and it's just that the time has not been enough. I'm sure if this was continuing for like another month, we would be in position to close all these tasks. But given the fact that it's over, I think we have to either have any of you that may have spare time and you do some of the leftover in spare time, or else we get other guys to take over the work, or I have to do it myself. So, but nevertheless, I want to thank you for the work you've been doing. Though it's not completed, but at least there's progress that is even visible in terms of functionality. Yeah. So there's definitely stuff that has been done. There are options we've explored and concluded in terms of no-go zones and which are advised. And so, yep, at least there's progress, and it's good progress. So thank you very good work you're doing.
Thank you very much, Daniel. So I speak for myself. I feel like we have learned a lot, despite the fact that we have not been able to create the board. We have learned a lot, and you have been really very much support. And I don't think it would harm anyone to spare an hour or so to try and finish up on what he or she has left unfinished. So I'm sure someone will be able to spare an hour or something and work on one thing. So yeah, that's from my point, my side. So anybody else has something to say now? And I feel like this is the goodbye part, the saddest, right? Good.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So, first of all, I'm planning to stick for a while. At least like make my house clear.
Yeah, excellent.
I'm one of those people who doesn't like leaving things hanging, so I'll definitely stick around for a while.
Excellent.
So I'd like to thank Daniel, first of all, for the support that he's given us. I think I speak for the whole team when I say that your support has been truly, truly great, and we've all appreciated you taking time to walk us through the whole process of onboarding, familiarizing with the code base. Because personally, if I was doing this on my own, I don't think I would have managed to wrap my head around the whole code base that fast. Because I'll admit, when I first joined, I was really overwhelmed by the sheer number of repositories. The OpenMRS project, I was like, how is this possible that all these modules are supposed to interconnect and work together to form just one product? So it's really been helpful in taking us through the whole process. And yeah, I thank you for that.
Thanks.
So yeah, plus one on what Arthur said. I think that I might be able to stay on for a bit. I just need to align my activities. So I will probably take the rest of the week off and see how I stand next week. So probably next week I shall be available to continue on what we've been doing.
Excellent.
Nice. So, Patrick, do you have anything to say?
I think Arthur has covered what I wanted to say very well. Just to echo what he says, a big thank you to Daniel, and you've been very instrumental in all this. In these 3 months, we've been working with this team, and I without your support, I don't think we'd be able to even do anything. So a big shout out to you. In regards to completion, yes, I know today is our last day, but I am also not really that eager to leave, and I also don't like to really leave things incomplete. So I will be staying on to make sure that I'm done with everything I was supposed to do on this with this project. So yeah, I also got some feedback from Daniel. Yeah, I got some feedback from you last week, and I think I will also just stay on. I may not be actively on sprints or something, but I'm thinking I can just contribute to the community in other ways as well. Maybe pick up tasks once in a while if I'm not so busy. And yeah, I just really want to make a good contribution to the community as well.
Excellent.
That's all from me.
Thank you very much. So, Kelechi, do you have anything to add?
My check.
Check. Check. Okay, I think Kelechi might be. Kelechi, mic check. Yeah. Do you have anything to add as we end the sprint? Do you have anything to say? Maybe even feedback for Daniel?
Well, I've really enjoyed working on this project and with this team.
Okay.
The process has increased and really improved over time. And then having to work with this team to achieve various goals has been really awesome. I strongly believe that we are successful to a great extent. Although we are not through with everything, but we are successful to a great extent. And one thing about programming is that a product is never complete. And it was really wonderful and awesome working with Daniel. It was and still is. The assistance, how he guides your thought process to arrive at solutions yourself is really commendable. And I deeply appreciate that. And it's been nice, I would say.
Good. Thank you. So, yeah, also say it has been a good time to work with you, Daniel. So, yeah, thanks for all the help that you have provided to us and helped us learn. So, we all say thank you. So, if there is no more comments,
I still have like 3.
Okay.
One, I would like to get some sort of feedback in terms of areas where I feel I should improve. First of all, thank you very much for the comments, recommendations, and I fully appreciate that. But still, I would like to get some feedback in terms of areas you feel I should improve, because I'm not perfect, I believe that, and I would like to get better each day that passes, and people like you give me an opportunity to grow and improve at doing things. So I would welcome feedback if there are ways you feel I can do better than what I've done. Don't get scared. That won't mean that I'm not. It's still the matter of saying, how can I even do better? Yep.
The floor is open. If anybody has any feedback for Daniel. So, okay, let me start. Maybe I have just one feedback. I would say sometimes Daniel, maybe on this task that were Java centered, sometimes maybe you would assume some prior knowledge about the whole, not necessarily the whole project, but some things that someone might not have known about the project itself. So
okay.
Sometimes you make some assumptions about us having prior knowledge with OpenMRS, which some of we didn't share. But otherwise, that's from me.
Thank you very much. That's a very good point. Noted.
Okay. Anybody else?
Yes. Second, what Isaiah said. I think, or I feel it's easier, or no, I think it's better to assume that someone knows little. And
okay.
The person tells you that, oh, I know more than that.
Okay.
That would make it easier to know person's foundation, where to start from.
Okay.
Than going from top level down.
Okay.
When you go up, you don't know how far away that person is from that level, and it's harder for the person to catch up, and it also delays the process, because the person would easily say, I don't even know how to go about this, since this
Okay.
that would cause some delays. So I think it's best to assume that the person knows little and then the person otherwise.
Okay.
That would help to build on the amount of assistance the person requires and then how to go from there.
Sure. Thank you very much. Well noted.
Thank you for this. So, so Daniel, you said you had three.
Yes. The second one is are there ways you feel that OpenMRS in general as a community should do better or can do better? You know, because you've been interacting with not just me alone, but also the broad community, and you have got feedback, back and forth issues between the general community. So are there ways you feel the community could improve, you know, and make it a better experience?
Okay. So anybody who can go first. Anybody, if anyone has something to say about Daniel's question, can go first.
I would say I like the way the OpenMRS community is set up. Like there's a lot of structure around how things should be done. So that's a plus one from me. I actually didn't have any issues like with the community. I like that people communicate, the way they respond. Like when you ask a question, there's always someone ready to respond to whatever you've asked. And yeah, I don't know what to add, but I would just say that I found it to be good.
Thank you.
So I would also like to add on what Cecilia has said. I think the community is really helpful. For me, I interacted with someone by the name Goodlit. He really helped me on this task that I am currently working on. So I will just give a feedback like the community should continue being awesome and willing to help anybody who is joining the community. So I think the community is doing a good job.
Thank you.
Just another one. I think the community is also is quite good, though I feel like not enough is done in regards to newbies, especially newbies who are developers and going to develop, say, on the core, and maybe also have very little programming experience, for example, especially like in the frameworks used, say, with the core, like us basically in general. Yes, there's documentation and materials online and Google, but many times there are things that you can't really get immediately from all the documentation, because you can't really like sit down and read all the documentations at once.
Right.
So I feel like if there was a way to, say, have a more comprehensive program for onboarding and just acquainting people with the structure of how everything fits in together, like from the core to the modules, and like there are things I learned way midway. I was trying to write code, and then someone comes and tells me, "Oh, you don't need to write this. There's ALP that injects and adds this." Like these are things like I would have never have known, and like if there was a way like to just maybe quickly onboard people and just acquaint them with the full structure of the project, like how everything fits together, how from the beginning on, when you click something, where does it usually go? Like, it could be a generic structure, but something that gives a person a holistic view of how everything fits together. I feel like that would be a really good thing. And probably the best person would be a newbie who's moving to like a mid-level stage, because I feel like a very experienced person will tend to assume things, but a person who has started from like scratch and been at a position where they knew nothing and is not yet far from that would be the best person to bring in these other new people. I don't know if we have such people in the community, or there's a way to just have people enroll or something, but that would be a really, really good thing, I think.
Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Mike check.
Well,
Check.
Yeah, go ahead.
Just to add on to what Patrick has said, I think one way to go about it would be like making tutorials and posting them on YouTube. Like, for instance, he was talking about like setting up the core and all that. So I went through the available videos, but some of them are like really old, like 6 years ago, 5 years. So I feel because like in our case, we were changing some of the aspects of the core. So I feel like if someone were like to be put in charge of like making sure all the updates are sort of like video documented, it would be a bit more efficient in terms of like familiarizing a newbie with the whole workflow.
Okay. Thanks. Point well noted.
Thank you, everyone, for the comments. If there's no one else with a comment, Daniel, I think you can go to the third.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would like to first of all, I want to emphasize that I fully appreciate the work that has been done. Though it's not closed, but that doesn't mean you've not done your best. It's just that the task was a bit more, should say, complicated than we had thought, and hence it was an experience that we had not gotten before. We hadn't gotten newbies and got them on a task as complex as this. So this was our first experience in regards to that. So there are lessons learned, there are mistakes that we've made as a community and myself, which would form a basis for us to improve going forward. So don't feel guilty that the things are in this state. Then I also want to emphasize that this being an open source project, you guys are welcome to continue contributing in your spare time. And not just completing these tasks, but even after these tasks are done and closed, whenever you get a spare moment, you're encouraged to continue contributing. So I would like to encourage you to do that as part of your career development. Many recruiters like people who actually contribute to open source products. So it is just about you in terms of advice that I'll give you in terms of your career. When you continue and contribute to an open source project, and then somebody wants to hire you and they get to know that, hey, this guy that I'm about to hire is a contributor to so-and-so projects, that puts you in a better state than somebody who does not do that. So I would like to encourage you. But also, it's also another way of getting yourself broadly known, I mean, internationally known, because there are so many opportunities around these projects, international jobs, consultancies, that will look at your activities and pick interest in you. So career-wise, it's good to do such kind of contributions. Even when OpenRMS itself is hiring, it usually prefers to hire from the community. They look at the contract and then they're like, it's rare and hard to actually just get somebody out of the blue to come and join the the paid team, it's usually the other way around. You rather have people that have been contributing than having external parties, however experienced they may be. So that's another good point that I would like you to note. But also, some of you may have big ambitions than just being employed. You could be having ambitions like setting up companies that possibly can give local support to OpenMRS, to the ministries, to CDC, to WHO, to USAID, whatever it is. So that's another area that you could look if be an entrepreneur and form a company that gives support to OpenMRS in terms of if the hospitals that want to adopt it, it's an open source product, yes, but they need technical support. So you could set up a company that does that, or you could even just set up a consultancy and you're just a consultant that consults for people who want to, these organizations, NGOs that are implementing OpenMRS and they want somebody who's an expert in OpenMRS. So all those are good career opportunities that you build when you continue contributing. But of course, even learning, open source projects are very good towards teaching. That's one of the things that developers have worldwide, that one of the goals you get from contributing to an open source project is your skill enhancement. It goes a long way. So all good points that I wanted to say out to you and make you aware of them. And yep, otherwise I can't help but say it again, and I'll miss you guys.
We really like the advice that you've given to us. We have really appreciated this. Thanks a lot for that advice. Really motivates someone to continue working on open source projects. So I have one more question for you, Daniel.
Even if you have more than one.
Okay. So you said this was a test, like we were testing on us about doing the Java tasks. You started with us, like we are the first guys to do this from Andela, right?
Yes, 100%. Other guys have done some little bits of Java. Page-wise, I would say they've done like 10% Java and then 90% JavaScript. So the only first team that has done 100% purely Java.
Okay.
And not just Java, but Java on a complex task. Those two are different. Somebody can do Java 100%, but doing simple things, right? Yeah. But your case has been unique in that you've done 100% Java and one of the complex tasks in OpenMRS. Yep.
So from maybe what you have learned, will you do this again to any other team that will join?
Very good question. I do not plan to do this again. The reason being that first of all, you put people in a state where they do not feel comfortable having worked on stuff for 3 months and they have not closed it. So they tend to maybe feel like they've not done enough, So I don't want to put people in that kind of situation. So that's one of the reasons why I wouldn't like to do it again. Secondly, I've noticed that it requires more input from our side because this is a new area where people need more, they kind of get back to you a bit more frequently than, for example, than other guys who are doing simpler stuff like JavaScript, that stuff. So in other words, for us to do this again, we would need to beef our OpenMRS support team by just more, with more than one Daniel. I think you noticed an example when I went to Nigeria. I left you guys like in the dark, Yeah. So, but if you guys were doing stuff like JavaScript, React, you wouldn't have even noticed that I'm away, Yeah. So, if I was to do this again, one would need to have more than one Daniel to be able to give support, because the level of support required for such complex tasks requires more than just one person from our side. That's if we are to give you satisfactory response, response times. So if we don't work on that, then what I will do is to just have like 30% maximum of Java, and the rest 70% is React,
Okay, I see. I totally get it.
Yep.
Yeah, so thanks a lot. So does anybody else has got a question from the rest of the team? Okay, I'll take the silence as a no. So yeah, I just say thanks again, Daniel, and
Thank you too.
see you. Yeah, we hope surely we'll
In
meet again.
cyberspace. Sure.
Okay,
Right.
so goodbye. I'm ending this call now.
Sure. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.